Hey guys, my name's Sam and welcome to the Driving Home Reviews podcast. This is a podcast that features mine and my girlfriend Hannah's unfiltered, spoiler-filled thoughts about films we've just seen on the drive home. Just a heads up, there's a lot of strong language, full spoilers, obviously, and a lot of comments about what we see on the road, so we hope you enjoy. Also, I'll be back at the end to wrap it all up. For this episode, it's another sitting home review. This time it's for Fear Street Part 3, 1666, which is very easy for me to say clearly, where we left bewitched by the final chapter in the Fear Street trilogy, or did it lead us on a wild witch hunt? Let's find out.
Sweating.
I'm fucking sweating.
Sweating?
What do you think of that?
I think you sound like Sarah Fear.
You're on about? I sound actually like Irish.
What the heck was that? It's accents. I'd be confused for the first little bit, not gonna lie.
Yeah, because at first
I was like, are they supposed to be Irish?
it didn't sound like.
And then some of them sounded Irish and some of them
very did not
just
sound
sounded
Irish.
like... I think they were just trying to talk
Yeah,
oldie tiny.
but Irish.
Yeah. In the States.
I just
Didn't get that.
I mean, I don't know my American colonialism
No.
as much as I'm sure some scholars of history do. But my first assumption for the settlers and was it the Pilgrims? Is that what they were called?
Yeah, I think so.
Wouldn't have been Irish accents,
No.
but not obviously to say that it wasn't,
No.
but it was a strong shock horror. Because there was no mention that any of the people... Because considering the amount of fucking time they mentioned about 1666 and Sarah Fear and all that sort of like origins of like everything. I don't know, once did they mention that they were Irish?
No.
I don't think.
No, I don't. I think it just came across as Irish, didn't it? I think it might have just supposed to have been. I don't know.
Do you think on... do you know when they went for an audition and they rapidly realised that not everyone could do an English accent, but everyone could do an passable Irish accent? They just thought, fuck it, we'll just make them Irish then, because...
It wasn't even all of them, though.
No, because there was a couple of
There was
blokes
like a
who were
few of
like...
them.
Because there was a guy who sounded like a British person.
Yeah.
Who probably was the British actor in there.
Yeah. Or he could do a British accent, and the rest of them were trying to do a British accent, but it came out as Irish. I don't know. I don't know. But that threw me off, and I was distracted by that for a little while.
Yeah.
I liked the 1666 bit, but also didn't, because it was a
bit boring, wasn't it?
yeah.
I felt...
I get that it was like giving us the backstory
Yeah.
of what happened, but I
Like,
think
I
because
know
it
what you
was
mean.
because it was the origin of the like witchy culty stuff. It wasn't very scary.
Yeah, not as scary as I thought.
Classic Hannah wasn't scared enough.
I mean, it's not the worst thing to expect from a horror film is to be
exactly.
scared. So
Yeah.
I don't think you're completely unfounded. I know what you mean. I feel like maybe if we'd been scared more in 1 and 2,
Yeah.
then we could forgive some of the lack
Yeah.
of scares in this one.
Especially because
For the sake of... Well, the
I thought this one was
trailer
gonna be
made
the
this look well
scariest,
scary.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. And it was... Yeah. It felt like...
Like it.
felt like this didn't need a whole... Well, we say a whole film. This was Fear Street Part 3 /
But in
Part
2
4.
parts.
Yeah, like... Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, when I saw that it was like 2 hours long, I was like, oh, okay, like we're obviously gonna have the whole backstory origin part, and then we're gonna see the
Because I did think I forgot
the
that
resolution.
they because I thought the same when I saw it was an hour and 54, and I was like, that's a bit long. And then I was like, to be fair, they do have to resolve everything.
They've got a lot to do, yeah.
Yeah.
They've still got a possessed Sam and
A whole bunch of ghouls
Model
to
that-
get rid, wasn't there?
modern day, 1994.
Yeah.
Issues going on, haven't they?
Yeah. No. Yeah, it just
But-
started so weird. I did quite like... Well, the whole weird pig thing at the beginning was bizarre, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When it was like, oh, she's got... I thought, oh, is 7 piglets? Is this going to be
like a symbol of
something? Or, you
It's
know...
gonna come back.
And and then that didn't really, and then because obviously she was, because that was like the tender hooks they did in part 2, wasn't it? Because it was like, oh my god, what's happening with at the end of part 2 it was like, oh my god, she's got blood all over her hand, she's got a knife, she's gone a bit fucking mental.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Oh yeah.
And then it didn't. It was like, oh, she was just.
Her birthing
Well, she
some
was
pigs.
birthing some pigs, but then she stabbed the pig to.
Yeah, I don't know. Teach it a lesson for eating its kids, I guess.
Oh no, I
but-
meant to get the 7th piggy out.
Oh yeah, to like cut it out, I think.
Shit.
Or maybe it was to
She
like
didn't-
I
she-
don't know. Cut
Yeah,
the,
maybe to.
cut the cord or.
Because it said it was breached and it wasn't coming out, so I don't know. Maybe they just give it a slice to open her up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a gentle slice. It was a
No,
full-on stab,
yeah.
wasn't it? And then the
Made
pig
it
was like.
seem really aggressive, and then
Yeah.
the pig was fine
Fine,
afterwards.
yeah.
It's like, oh, so you didn't just kill it then? Fine, that's okay.
I quite liked the.
That.
Quite like the little party that all the town,
Yeah.
all the ye olde folk children had. That was quite
Yeah.
funny because I was
Teenage
like,
kids.
you don't really see that a lot, and I was like, yeah, I
No.
quite like that.
And they were like
It's an interesting turn.
passing around their magic berries. I was like, yeah,
And the
all
yeah,
the
it was
taggy
all
drugs.
yeah, and it was like all this. Ooh, we've got the apple juice of the sacred tree, or whatever the fuck it
like
was,
the
and you
secret
just.
code that they had.
Oh yeah, and it was like, oh,
They were all walking around.
the moon shines brightest in the woods or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Everyone knew the fucking. I was like, oh my god, like guys, you're not subtle at all because
No.
you're saying it within earshot of everyone else
everybody
within the whole town, which is
Yeah.
like what 20 people.
Yeah. That's why my brother was like, oh, you shouldn't be going. It's like, well, apparently the whole town's going.
Yeah, it doesn't really fucking matter, does it?
Doesn't seem like it's much of a secret because everyone is saying this weird code.
Yeah, and then what happened? Oh yeah, and then there was like Lesnit bit, weren't there?
Yeah. Just a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, when
Spicy.
I was like, I can't imagine the hygiene of people back in the day was particularly great.
No, and I did think that when what was his name? Mad
Henry.
Mad Henry. Yeah.
No, Mad Thomas.
Mad Thomas.
It's fucking greasy
He looked-
ass hair.
Oh my gosh! I was
What?
like, he needs a wash, please.
Still also
His teeth were bad as well.
Oh, they
like the
were
rest
horrific,
of them, their
weren't
teeth were okay, but
Yeah, most of
I
them.
don't know why his was so shit. I guess because he was a drunk and his teeth were.
Because he's mad.
Oh,
Bloody
yeah,
mad.
he's
Mad as a
crazy.
mad as a box of frogs, is he?
He was mad, wasn't
Thomas.
he?
Thomas.
Thomas.
But God, he still looks a bit like Robert Pattinson.
It's the hair. It's the middle part with the like
And that
the
intense
curtain.
like
bangs
look down, look up
situation.
at someone.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
classic
delivering
art,
lines.
That.
It's very Lighthouse-esque, and
Mhm.
that the devil. Oh, pardon me. The devil did it. The devil. What was the one with Tom Holland? That remember that one?
Yeah.
Because he said he
Yeah.
had that similar sort of, but he was like, "Here
He
now,
did,
I'm a
yeah.
pastor," and all that
I'm
sort of
past it,
shit.
but I'm actually.
You are.
But
Oh,
I'm
he's a kiddie
actually
fiddler.
kiddie fiddler.
Well,
Wasn't
if the boot fits.
it? Mr.
Not-
Roberts?
Well, not our pats, but you know,
No,
a pastor.
Well, no, this pastor was just a straight up child murderer, wasn't he?
Fucking eye
Oh, God, that
gouger,
was
wasn't he?
Horrible.
Yeah, that was pretty
I
grim.
was like, what is that in the middle of the floor? And then went up to it, and it was just
Pile of eyeballs.
eyes. I was like, oh no.
See, I
Like,
knew.
please don't tell me they're dead. Oh wait.
Yeah, so they had a party, didn't they? And then they got caught having a bit of fun. What was it? Dallying?
Dallying, I think.
Yeah. Oh, what if it's not dallying? And he's like, okay.
Because they were like a thing, I guess. Was she pretending that she liked him?
Solomon, good boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
He looked a bit up. Well, obviously later on he's like, "I love you," but he
Yeah.
looked a bit upset that she was like, "Oh, I'm a les.
Yeah, sorry, but
I'm a lesbian."
not a fan. So. But yeah, no. I knew something was amiss. Because I was like, I don't know.
What do you mean?
You know when she just woke up and everything's wrong, and the dog, like, you know when she went to bed after the party.
Yeah.
And then the dog was there, and then it wasn't, and I was just a bit like, what the fuck?
As soon as the dog was gone, that's how
Yeah.
you know. That's how you know troubles are brewing.
Yeah,
the dog disappears.
Yeah, dogs don't trust evil, so when evil's rampant, the dog usually gets offed. Or in this case, the pig turns around and eats its 7 babies.
Yeah, that was so
fucking
weird.
Great.
That was disgusting.
Also, all the fruit and stuff. I like how you know in the more in the 78 and 94 ones, it was like, oh, there's a little bit of like rotten stuff. When I say a little bit, I mean like the teeny tiniest little bit.
Yeah.
But in this, it was like the whole town's fruit supply is fucked.
Yeah.
The animals are like, the pigs are eating their babies, the dogs are jumping in the well.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what?
It's full on. Yeah.
But like 94, one bloke.
Mm.
That was it. Just running a bit rampant. What were all the dogs and pigs doing there? Nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe the witchcraft was more refined. She's been doing it for like 300 years by that point, haven't they?
Yeah.
They were like, right, leave the animals alone. You can just get, like, have a chat with the devil and be like, look, deal's great. Can we just do a couple of amendments? You know, make it so sus with, like, rotten fruit and dogs in wells and stuff.
Yeah.
But then, like we said, it was a community of, like, 15 people, so of course they're all going to be more or less affected, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that pasta. I thought the pasta was going to have a bit more to it. Like, I don't know, because from the trailer, because you always saw him with his dangly hair and stuff, and he was rat-a-tat-tatting on the thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, is he going to do something a bit more? Because I thought, is he going to be like the serial killer from that time?
From that time, yeah.
As in, he was going to go around and kill everyone.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to be a bit of a rampage.
Mm.
But, well, I mean, killing what, like 7 kids or whatever it was
Yeah.
pretty rampageous.
It's quite rampageous for those times, I would have said.
Peeling out their eyes. Ooh, that's pretty grim, that. I quite liked the bit after it, though. The witch hunt. The decided witch hunt.
Yeah.
My favourite bit was the underlying but subtle / not so subtle at all commentary of just a bunch of white men shouting in a room together until they've come to some sort of conclusion without any proof of anything.
Yeah.
And then
until one of them says, "Oh yeah, I saw it." And
yeah.
It's like, "Oh, you did you?"
It's like, but you just decided, you just made that up.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, who are we gonna pick? Women.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna choose her because she wouldn't.
Because she wouldn't sleep with me, so I'm gonna pin the blame on her.
Yeah, I'm gonna call her a witch because I've got a bruised ego.
Yeah, fucking. If that ain't the fucking patriarchy, I don't know what is.
I really didn't like that bit at the party when he was like, "Oh, don't flirt with me" or whatever he said. It's like she's literally telling you to like get away from her.
Yeah, don't do that. And she's like, fuck off. Keep your hard on in your fucking burlap sack trousers, you fucking loser.
I don't know what language you speak, but get away from me doesn't mean she's flirting with you.
There was something he said to her that I was like, I don't think they said that. Oh, he called her frigid. Didn't he? He was like, you frigid bitch. And I was like...
Is that what he said?
Yeah, and I was like, did they say that in 1666? Like...
No, surely not.
Yond wench, stay away from mine penis, you frigid bitch. Like, what?
We should call it his member.
Oh, yes. Keep thine hands away from thine member, you
Love it.
frigid bitch.
You
What?
frigid bitch.
I was like, alright, cool, whatever. Yeah, sure.
I don't think they said that back then.
But, yeah, and then as soon as she went into, because she went and saw old, I feel like we should, well, I quite liked how they used the same actors.
Yeah.
Because I was
liked
like,
that
thank God,
too.
because I feel like otherwise some people have been done, I mean, to be fair, a few people got done dirty
Yeah.
just for out. And I'm quite glad that the stoner bloke from the first film
Yeah.
didn't really get any screen time in this.
No, other
He-
than looking a bit sad.
Yeah, and they were, oh, no, there wasn't them, I promise. And then they were like, shut up, man! You're supposed to be on our side, not the witch's side.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think, like I was saying to you, I was like, I didn't get the passage of time. Yeah, when they did the witch hunt, and then Sarah Fear's girlfriend, what's her name? Hannah Miller. Hannah Miller. When Hannah Miller got caught, and then Sarah Fear was running away,
Yeah.
and then she just didn't run into the woods.
No.
Just,
That
like,
was-
you ever at a hilltop farm, town, whatever,
Innit?
wait for a little bit, just go straight to the witch's house,
Yeah.
which she did anyway. Yeah,
Or just go.
well, yeah, or just do that. That would have been a lot
You
easier.
wanted
Wouldn't
to wait and save your girlfriend, but
it?
yeah, hide anywhere that isn't your house where your dad lives or your friend's house, which are the two places that she decided to go to.
Yeah.
She's a fucking idiot.
I quite liked how she just did a 180 and was like, well, they're calling us witches.
I
fuck it.
liked that too.
Oh yeah, let's just be witches. And I was like,
oh,
yeah.
bitch. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna summon the devil.
Yeah. And then she didn't, and I was like, oh man. I was a bit like,
The devil had already been summoned.
well, yeah, that was a good little. I did think, I was like, when we got there, and I was like, there's something I missed. You know, when she went to go open the book, the box with the book in, and I was like, there's a little bit of blood on there, and I was like, nah, someone's done this.
Yeah.
Also, how did she not see the dead body when she walked in?
Right?
Because the dead body was right next to the
I
box.
wanted to
The
say
box
that.
of the book.
When she landed next to her, I really wanted to turn to her and be like, whoa,
How the fuck did you see
how
that?
did she miss that on the way in?
Because it wasn't even like she like tripped back into
No.
and then knocked her over and she fell from behind a curtain. She was just dead as fuck on the floor,
Yeah.
like.
And she'd have been there for a few days as well. And in
Yeah.
those days, I feel like the flies and whatnot,
Yeah.
it would have been stanky in there.
Yeah. To be fair, I feel like everywhere was smelly back in those days, weren't
More
they?
stanky than,
Than what they're used to.
yeah.
But
I thought so, but...
yeah, and then she went to old Solomon Good. I thought that was a good little twist because like I didn't think he was going to be the baddie.
No, until it was happening.
And then we looked at each other and I was like,
And we were like, wait a second.
it's in?
It's
Yep,
him,
yep,
isn't
yep,
it?
yep.
Yeah.
I was still under the impression it was Mad Tom or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah, because he did. He knew a bit too much about it.
Yeah, when he
didn't
was like, "Oh, you've drank from the poisoned well," as the dead dog got pulled up, and I was like, "Did you put that in the well,
Yeah.
you little fucker? Did you?
know that
Did
was poison before
Yeah.
they'd even pulled it up out
you?"
there.
Yeah. And then the little scuttle in the underground lair from the second one.
That it got a bit more spooky then. I was
Bit more
like, oh,
spooks.
I don't like this or this underground.
Nah.
Oh, and when he took a hand off.
Oh
geez
God!
Louise.
Oh, that was how brutal
That was
was.
gnarly. Oh, I thought it was just gonna be like a clean shink off. but
No, it was like a stab twist, and then she ripped her
And
hand
then
off,
it was
didn't
like
she? So she
half
could get out.
hanging, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then she just went, "Nah, you know what? I've had enough." Yanked it down and ran away like,
Yeah.
"Whoa!"
Bloody hell.
Yeah, and then she got hanged, didn't she?
She did.
Got hanged, got framed. Fucking sucks to be you, babes.
Poor Sarah Fear.
I don't know, I kind of wished that maybe she'd seen her mate, her girlfriend, get hung, and then she actually did turn out to be like a witch,
Who?
Sarah Fear, and be like a proper, like mad cow, you know,
Yeah.
go a bit mental.
Yeah.
But then I quite liked the little twist where I was like, no, it wasn't her at all. She was just,
He was framed.
yeah,
Yeah.
classic bunch of white men. Changing history, cover their tracks. Fucking bastards. Yeah, I was not expecting the little Fear Street 1994 Part 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess it did have to happen.
Well, yeah, they had to wrap it up, but I wasn't expecting there to be a whole, like... That must have been at least half of it.
Yeah, it felt like that could have been wrapped up a hell of a lot quicker, though.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of...
Although that whole bit of... That I got stressed.
Which bit?
In
the mall? Do you think that was a leftover set from Stranger Things Series 3?
Maybe,
And they just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, it was very Stranger Things-esque, wasn't it? Especially with like the lights and the like luminous paint and stuff.
Yeah.
It's very
See, I've not
Stranger
read the books, but do you think that good is evil?
Mm.
Do you think that's like a, I don't know, within the Fear Streeters? Do you think that's like the always of that like franchise? You know, like
Maybe.
Like I don't know.
It's like the little thing, little phrase.
Yeah, that's what a load of Fear Streeters have got tattooed on themselves somewhere.
Good is evil.
Next to their like feathers and infinity symbols, got the evil is good. No, good is evil. Whoops. But yeah, no, I like that little twist. Because then I was like, and then when they had like the little flashbacks as well, of like, well, this was after they were like, oh, hey girl from the second one.
Yeah.
And they were like, Ziggy, that's the one, and they were like, yep, she's evil's good. Fuck's sake, good is evil.
Yeah.
And then they're having like the little flashbacks when he's saying stuff to her, and I was like, yes sir,
Yeah.
I like it. I was like, this is the payoff I was waiting for. I like these things.
Yeah,
like,
when it all like ties in, and when they showed the clip of them burying Sarah Fear, and then like she put the like flower crown on her head, and it's like that was all the moss, and
it started growing. Yeah. I like that as well. That was good.
So that's
yeah.
where that's come from.
Yeah, I like that because I thought it was like evil cause red moss. I was like,
Yeah,
red,
just,
red
like,
is evil. So
Moldy bad, and
that's what I was expecting.
the fact that it was like her friends that moved her body, and it wasn't someone else trying to.
Because I forgot that they moved.
Alive.
I forgot that they moved the body,
Mm.
and then until they started scratching on the stone, and I was like, "Oh, that's why."
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense now.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I liked the 1994 little bits,
Yeah, I did too.
like the way it all came together, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's just that same family being dicks again.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this goes all the way back then.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wasn't expecting that. Because like we said, I kind of thought he was kind of a good guy, but not the best guy.
Mm.
Because, he was a bit of a dick in the first one. And then the second one, it was a bit like, he's not the worst, but he just had that responsibility on his shoulder. Because he literally says, doesn't he? He's like, oh, my dad's the chief of police or whatever.
Yeah,
I was like, I've got to live up to it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like, oh, okay, maybe they're doing a little redemption arc for him. And then in this, they're like, nah, he's
bad.
they're a cult family, mate. They fucking pick people at random to do it.
And I feel like they should have shown Sunnyvale
More.
a bit more, yeah, because up until now we'd only seen like all the bad stuff happening in Shady.
So, yeah.
And Shady side, and then obviously when it was revealed that it was him and that he'd like get everything he wanted, and it's like, well, it still sounds a bit shit living in a town where people die, and you didn't see the benefits that he was getting until the end when she was like, oh yeah, he's getting all these benefits, and then it showed Sunnyvale like with its big houses.
Yeah, I feel like they needed to... And I also think... So, he selected that random kid at the mall at the beginning of the first one.
Mm.
I kind of wish that they developed that a bit more. Because it seemed like... Well, I don't know, because were they picking people at random?
I think so.
Because I think when I thought that So, in 66...
Yeah.
I thought that Solomon picked the pastor Because the past, I don't know. Because I don't know why. I thought that Solomon was doing better than he was. No, the pastor was doing better than Solomon was. So it was like a jealousy sort of thing.
Right.
Because that's what I thought it was. And then, it makes way more sense. Because I was thinking back to the second one, and I was like, right, okay, so if he picked the guy...
Yeah.
And he picked Tommy from Mr. Sackman.
Yeah.
Because then I was like, oh, well, why did he pick him? Because I thought he didn't fancy what's her name's sister. Because I thought that he specifically picked the guy that he did from the second one.
Yeah.
Because I thought he fancied his Ziggy's sister.
No, I think it was just like, obviously not completely random, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was because they had agendas against those people. Because didn't he say, Solomon said to Sarah, oh no, he said like, oh, it's one life, and then she was like, oh yeah, but he then killed 12 children, so.
Yeah.
I thought he said something then about it not being.
Because I thought
being random.
Yeah. I think he was just because I think he was like, oh, I picked one person and then I got everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in that point he said something about, oh, everything's come up shit for me, bro. And I think that's when I was like, oh, okay, so he means he's just jealous of other people, and that's why he did that. But I don't think that was it, was it? That was me assuming. And why don't we assume? Because it makes an ass out of you and me. So. Okay, that makes way more sense then. Because, like I said, I thought that. Because I was like, well, why the hell did. Because I remember saying this about the first one. I was like, why was it this kid? Like, what did this kid do?
Yeah.
To just all of a sudden go mental?
Yeah.
And
it makes sense now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
At first we were like, oh, it's the tree.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, no, he literally had his name picked. So.
Yeah. And I think that's what made me think, because I was like, well, because he's a policeman, he had run-ins with this kid before?
Yeah.
Because by that logic, you'd pick Martin. Was it Martin?
Yeah.
Because I was like, that Martin guy seems to be a pain in the fucking ass to the police chief, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Make him the killer, because then you can actually get rid of him.
Yeah.
Not just the bloke who lived in who was just the Halloween shop owner or whatever it was. Not just the random kid. I don't really get that, but yeah, I quite like the how they would I kind of like, but didn't like how they were like, oh, we've got all of the spooky killers are coming after us.
Yeah.
But luckily they're coming 4 at a time.
Yeah.
Much like kind of like they did in 78 when it was like 4 of us again.
Just a few of them at a time.
A handful.
Rather than all of them.
Just enough that's capable for 3 people to maybe 4 people at a push can. Mm-hmm. Why would Ruby Lane and the weird child with the baseball bat, why would they turn up late?
Yeah.
I can understand the child, maybe because he's got little legs.
Well, yeah.
But not Ruby. Well, yeah, but she's got a bit of a sassy walk, doesn't she?
She's a bit of a saunter, isn't she?
Yeah, she doesn't walk with purpose.
Compared to bloody skull
kid. Yeah,
and Sackman's
he's a relentless runner, isn't he?
And then the man with the burnt face, the milkman. Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, milkmen are bloody
scary, and the one with the big plague mask. Yeah,
the plague doctor of Bly Manor.
I think it was. I think it's because they were faster.
Yeah.
They were.
Well, yeah, because that Sackman was about 8 foot tall, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. So his legs were probably about 2 feet each. Yeah. So he probably walk about 20 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then wasn't that was below the mall anyway? So why did it take him so long to get there?
I don't know.
Oh no, because they were in the woods.
Yeah,
they were driving around a bit, weren't they? Because I think he realised. Because when the sheriff realised that she knew the truth, and then they drove off in the car, didn't they? I think that's when they said, "Oh yeah, the killers are coming to get us."
Yeah.
So I think because they'd obviously been pootling about.
Yeah, they've been moving around, haven't they?
So that makes way more sense, ish. I quite liked how they were like, yeah, we've got a plan. Plan kind of went a bit tits up, really, didn't it?
Yeah. Plans always do, don't they? It's like in the first one.
Could you have not
Plans kept going
thought
tits up.
of a better way to get blood on him
Yeah.
with less splash damage of someone who ideally they don't want to be chased by monsters? Because he didn't need to be stood right in front of her.
No.
I feel like...
Why didn't they just shoot him with the water pistols? Like...
Or, your classic traps. Put a bucket above the entrance to the mall doors.
Yeah.
When he opens it, falls on top of him. There you go. No one's around him.
Yeah.
There's no splash damage. He's the
Yeah.
only one who gets covered. Release the psychos. Go after him. Job done.
It was a clever plan, to be fair.
It was a very clever plan.
I liked that plan. And then when they were like, his plan extension, when he squirted them with the blood,
yeah, and he was
they
like,
started killing each other.
Yeah, that was great. I like that.
I thought they were going to start like killing themselves, and I was like, really? But then, when they were all just attacking each other, I was
that
like,
big monster
this
fight
is
was good.
genius.
I wish I'd seen more of that.
Yeah, me too.
Because they just sort of it was like, oh, they're gonna like a Godzilla versus Kong, where it's like, here we go, a little fight, but with this they just sort of cut it, and they were like,
Yeah.
you know
like
what
they
you want to
skimmed
see? You want to see
on the violence in that bit when
you want to see Dina crawling under some stones and
No,
stuff.
I do not.
I was like, just show me more of that. Like,
Yeah.
that's all I really wanted to see.
I want to see him fucking hacking into each other.
Yeah. Wasn't really a fan of, the kid who was like, oh, here's the Konami code. Up, down.
Yeah.
Was it up? Was it up, down, down, left? Was it up, down, left, right? I can't remember whatever it was.
Up, down, left, right, something.
Circle, square, whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, did everyone know about that in the 90s? I don't remember them. Like, I'm pretty sure that was not a recent code, but I'm like, I just don't think games were as far along as they were in the 90s. I mean, I can't remember.
To be having
know the exact...
To be having cheat codes.
To know that it's the Konami code as well. I don't know.
Yeah, because all games have that code, don't they? But I don't think it's the same one.
Yeah, it's usually like a variation on that.
Yeah.
But,
Like
yeah.
the one for Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah. Or like GTA.
Yeah.
San Andreas, classic.
Up, left, down, left, up, left, right.
Fucking legend. Fucking nerd.
Gotcha. But yeah.
And then they just sort of... I don't think anyone could survive a stab in the back as much as he could. Sheriff could. It was a very severe stab.
Yeah.
Quite central in the back.
Yeah.
And yet he managed to survive for like 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, the stabbing in this trilogy is a bit vague, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
We've already established the the rules of stabbing are questionable.
Yeah. Well, we know why old Stranger Things from season 2 survived.
Yes.
I liked that bit.
Yeah.
Because that was quite good. When he was like, oh, I'm not going to let you die tonight. Like, no way. Because I was like, she got stabbed so much.
She did.
She got stabbed so much. How did she survive? And then he did some pretty shit CPR.
Yeah. And we said, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like, her lungs would have been full of blood.
Yeah, it didn't get into the recovery position or anything.
No.
So it all makes sense because he cursed her.
Yeah.
He gets whatever he wants.
He gets
buzzing,
what he
mate.
wants and she can survive. She can live.
Yeah.
Because he said so.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was good. I think overall it was there were bits that I liked in it, and there were some bits where I was like, oh god, oh god.
Yeah.
It's like you're drawing this out a
It
fair
was a
chunk.
slow burner.
Yeah.
A real slow burner.
like I said, I think it was the 1656 bit.
Yeah.
That it was just
It
it was
dragged,
just
didn't it?
a bit like I feel like this would have been better as a series than 3 films.
Do you think?
Yeah, because this one felt like 2 episodes.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
I think that was the thing.
I think it's literally called like part 2.
Come on, a bit
Right,
gassy
part
tonight.
two. You are a bit. It's all that cheese.
Yeah,
All that cheesy pizza.
yeah. Because it felt like it was a bit like, you know, Bly Manor, where it was like everything happened,
And there's that one episode.
where it just slowed it
All
right
in
down.
black and white, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It felt like this,
It's
and then it was
exactly
like,
that, isn't it?
rewind.
Mm.
But, yeah, because the little teaser. I liked how, you know, when they escaped the witch's cave, which was under the mall.
Mm-hmm.
And how big were they? Oh, to be fair, those tunnels were quite big, weren't they? Didn't they? They emphasised that in the second one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because I was like, how the fuck have they ended up in the sheriff's house?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, yeah, it's because it's bloody massive, that's why.
Yeah.
And then I liked all the goats.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, you bloody love your goats, didn't you, you
Yeah.
Satanists?
Yeah.
And the good family tree as well, where that was all branching. I was like, that's quite... Oh, I agree.
Yeah. Interesting that it didn't have any like pictures and names. It was just Solomon Good at the bottom, and then all the. I don't know.
That'd have been too many names for the writers to think of.
Well,
The art department. To be fair, I suppose if you start adding names and stuff, you'd be a bit bigger than an A3 poster. Although that was quite big though.
all the just a name underneath.
Yeah. Just do
Just not your traditional.
a Sirius Black. Have it all over the wall.
Yeah, have it painted on
Yeah.
the wall. Yeah, it's just I don't know. A bit weird that it was blank.
I quite liked, yeah. It just felt really strange to me, when Martin just got involved.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, do you want to kill the sheriff? And I was like,
Like, why would he?
what? Yeah. Because
Why
I was
would
like,
he be
he
in on
inconvened,
this,
like,
or-
he arrested you. I mean, yeah, I get it. Was he implicating that he was, like, racist? Because Martin was black that he arrested him? Because when he was like, oh, he was like, yo, then, oh, I know what it
He
was.
just framed him, didn't he?
Yeah, with the spray paints.
spray
Yeah,
paint,
it all's
yeah.
come back to me now.
Yeah.
Because I thought Martin was a spray paint artist. I thought that was the point. But then I'm just getting confused. Again, I'm just trying to find these racial undertones that I believe exist in this film.
Yeah.
I think it's in the trailer. It looked like there was going to be some for
Yeah.
1666. I think I just
Did
saw. Yeah, I saw a load of chains, and I was like, ah. And then because in the second one, they had the like 2 black twins that appeared in like the thing, and I was like, I think in my head I was building up this like undercurrent of.
Yeah.
Because obviously I said about the stuff in the first one where it was like, there was like the more people of colour were from Shadyside, and then it seemed predominantly white in Sunnyvale.
Yeah.
I think and then I saw obviously those 2 black kids that in the second one who'd had their eyes gouged out,
Yeah, the 2 girls.
and then it seemed like, yeah, I think I'd obviously I was like, trying to put 2 and 2 together and ended up with 12 apparently. so yeah. But I mean, there's still that, was it monetary class divide? That's the one.
Oh, God,
with
yeah.
all the fucking posho houses
Big class divide, big time.
between
Yeah.
Sunny and Shady.
So he's from Sunnyvale.
Yeah, because you remember what I said in the first one? I was really confused by the credits because it said that the town was called Union,
Yeah.
so it was a union in 1666.
Yeah, that's
wasn't it?
what it was
And then
called,
obviously the
yeah.
town must have split into 2.
Yeah.
Because was that what he was doing? So he went because he was in the woods, wasn't he, Solomon? Because he was just like in the woods, wasn't he?
What bit?
In 1666.
Yeah.
Solomon, who was living in the woods on his
He
own.
was living there.
Yeah, I think.
Right.
Because I think that's why, you know, and they were like, oh, how you... Because he buried, like, 2 people, didn't he?
In the woods?
Yeah. So they went past. You know when she first goes there and there was 2 graves on the side?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So who were they? Were they like his wife and daughter?
Oh, yeah.
Or were they like his brothers? Maybe it was like his dad and brother, I don't know.
Oh, I think his brothers were still alive. I think, didn't one of them... One of them was like, oh, my brother Solomon has killed the problem, you know, when he killed the pastor. And he stood up in that room and was like, oh, my brother's killed the problem.
Yeah, because I don't know, I felt like he was trying to do something in that. But I wasn't really listening at that point because I was still trying to get my head around the weird Irish accents.
Because that was near the beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I feel like they said something about him being there. And they were like, oh, how's it going? And he was like, mate, I'm fucking shit.
It didn't help that a lot of them looked the same. They all had long, dark hair.
With beards.
Yeah.
Centre partings.
Yeah.
Curtains as many as you like.
And I'm like, so is this Solomon? Is this her dad? Is this the pastor? Is this someone else? Like, they all looked very
The only reason
similar.
I knew it was the pastor because he didn't have any fucking eyes.
Yeah. Wow.
But, yeah.
They were singing that song about him, weren't they?
Oh, and fucking Mad Pete, whoever it was. What was his name? Mad Thomas. Well, we knew it was bloody him because he was the dirtiest fucker alive, wasn't he?
Yeah. I think it was just the
The dirty fucker.
The older men
Yeah.
were hard to...
The old white men all look the same.
Were hard to distinguish. So, yeah, I think I was a bit confused at the beginning.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, what made the town... Well, it must have been the goods made the town split.
And then they were just like, we want to do better than them.
Yeah, like, why did he share his wealth with other people? I guess it would be lonely if he didn't, but just interesting, isn't it? They then split. But I don't really remember them.
They didn't really delve
explaining why
into the split of the
No.
town. It felt like they could have done.
Yeah, I think
Because
so.
if half the town were like, oh, she's a witch, and half the town were like... But then maybe...
Like,
so you know the younger friends of the witch, of Seraphia, maybe they're the ones who broke away from the town and started another town sort of thing. Because they were like, fuck you lot. Like, you just hung an innocent person, so get fucked.
Yeah.
And then he was like, alright then, I'll carry on and I'll make my town really good and I'll pick on you lot.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like that should have been...
Inferred.
Explored.
Yeah, explained.
It's like...
Because there was such a fucking, like, divvy up of it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They made such a hoo-ha about both towns.
Like, how did he decide who was good and who was going to be treated like shit?
Yeah. Which I think that's also where I must have got that like idea that he just picked people he didn't like.
Yeah. Maybe he did then, because that would make more sense than it just being like random, because you obviously haven't randomly chosen people to be as lucky as you.
Okay. Oh no, they set it up, didn't they? Kind of set it up, kind of not, for another...
Oh, don't. Why?
I think if they're going to do it, I think they don't need... It shouldn't be a trilogy again.
Yeah,
I think it should just
one.
be one story.
Why do films always have to do that? Like, why can't you just leave it?
It's always horror films as well, isn't it?
Why can't you just leave it as it is?
And then if another one comes up, another one comes up.
Yeah,
like
you've literally left
with these
it.
films, you've got enough to go on.
Mm.
Because you haven't set one in the 80s or the 60s or the 50s. Like, you know what I mean? You've got enough stories that it could just plonk up any other time.
Mm.
You know, it doesn't have to follow on from the 94s and stuff.
Yeah.
You've got enough props and stuff left over from Stranger Things. Do a film in the 80s and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, use some Bridgerton sets. Have some from back in those days or whatever.
Yeah, but then, you know, like, would it be As in, it would just be,
because you'd be like,
you'd know what was going to happen.
yeah, and you're like, well, we know they don't survive because
like, you know what the curse is and why it's happening, and you know that it's been broken. So unless they did another one after whoever it was stole the book at the end.
Also nice of them to actually turn up at Fear Street for the first time in 3 films.
Yeah.
For 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Nice little nod to the title of the film.
What would you rate overall? So all 3 films.
Together or individually?
So, as a trilogy, because obviously
a trilogy,
you've got the Lord of the Rings is the best trilogy ever, and then you've got your.
It's interesting that you said that.
Well.
Star Wars.
Nah, no Star Wars. Sooner people realise that Star Wars, it just isn't a good set of films, the better. Like
Let's
no
that's fine.
no 3 sets, none of those 9 films or trilogies in those in that saga are good.
Fair enough.
Like, I love Star Wars as much as I do, but the sooner people realise that they are actually a bit of shit, the better. Like, get over yourself.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah.
The first 3 Fast and Furiouses, for example. That's a trilogy.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to judge where your judgment scale lies on it. Okay. So obviously at one end we've got Lord of the Rings, the other end we've got Lord of the Rings,
right.
3 films that fit perfectly together, wouldn't change them for the world, and then you've got The Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, and then Tokyo Drift.
I'd rate them quite highly in that case then, because they did all fit together cohesively and it was all one story. But like, I wouldn't watch them again.
No.
I probably wouldn't like recommend them. I don't know. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, like you really need to watch this. It's so good.
No. Like, if you haven't got anything else to watch, and you kind of want a bit of a silly but not really, it's difficult because you can't really recommend.
If you just
because I maintain the second's the best one of the lot.
Yeah, I think so too.
The second's the best of the lot, but you can't watch the second one without watching the first one.
The other ones, yeah.
But then you'll come out of the second one and be like, well, what the fuck just happened then?
Exactly.
So I guess from that,
which is why they,
as a trilogy,
you would rate them
they
quite
work
highly as a trilogy. Yeah.
As a trilogy of films, they work really well, and you can tell that they're written with one narrative in mind.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Oh,
and
gotcha, yeah.
something which not a lot of films do. But
yeah,
it's
they just kind of do one, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, let's just make another one. Oh, cool, well, let's make another one.
Yeah, and they're like, how are we going to tie this together? And then they go, well, we've got Transformers 5 now,
we'll
so
do it
fuck
loosely.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, like, this was obviously one whole cohesive storyline.
Yeah. Like, I enjoyed it while I watched, like, as we were watching it. It's just for a horror films. Not a lot happens for the first 45 minutes in quite a few of them.
Yeah, all 3 of them.
Well, the first one, something happens within the first 10 minutes,
but
and then
nothing
nothing
else happens after that for quite a while, does it?
But at least that has that to start with. But then that might be the longest stretch when nothing happens. But I feel like this third one, unfortunately it just had a lot of explaining to do, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like it does kind of feel like a Netflix series that they just decided to make into films.
Into films instead.
Because I feel like you could quite easily break them up into 45-minute episodes. Because you never watched the series of Unfortunate Events, did you? So they did a story split over 2 episodes. So like the series was like, in theory, it was like 3 books long, I think. But it was obviously like 6 episodes 45 per to explain some bits.
Yeah.
And I feel like it probably could have done with that. Because then, you know, if you take a bit more time to sort of a bit more exposition. Well, not even a bit more exposition. But I just feel like the amount of killers that they felt like there were too many killers that they were trying to include.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, we better only show you a handful in a flashback. And then we're just going to show you those same ones again. And it was like, I don't know, could you not spend more time with the individual killers, maybe?
Yeah, considering how many names were on those rocks as well, and you're just going to show us the same, like, 6 killers. But then, yeah, I get what you mean. Like, I also wanted more. I wanted to know more about.
I just feel like it felt like the world needed more exposition than the fucking characters, because I don't care. When it was like, oh, Sarah Fear, and I was like, you spent so long on this.
Yeah, talking about her and. Yeah. Give me more villains.
Yeah, it just felt like they just didn't. They did it. There was a lot of exposition, but it was just of the wrong things. Because it was like, I feel like there should have been that divide in the town, and we should have seen that.
Yeah.
In this one, and like why the split happened.
Yeah.
Why there was such blood between the two of them.
Yeah.
But then, because they kind of had to wrap up the 94 story, but there was so much they had to wrap up.
Yeah.
Like, you could, I don't know, it felt like you could have just killed Sheriff Good, like, in the woods. That's what you needed to do. Like, just do that. Yeah. Like the mole bit was fun, sure, but just you didn't really need much more than that. Like, you didn't really need to get Martin involved.
No, definitely not. I was just about to say that.
Like, you could have just sort of left him to do his thing.
Yeah.
And just maybe had Sheriff, which was like, oh, cool, Sheriff Good.
Yeah.
Let him out. Let him come to you then.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Home Alone the house or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Just do something like that just sort of makes it a bit of a snappier resolution.
Yeah, and don't have Sam there.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's so annoying.
But yeah, it's one where if you're gonna watch them, you might as well watch all 3. But
yeah,
there are probably other better things that if you want a good scare, if you want a scary film, don't watch these.
Yeah.
If you want stuff that's quite entertaining, if you want stuff that, because I feel like they all pay homage to the relevant thing that they're trying to. They do that very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
they do.
But they don't do it well enough to make it scary. Apart from the second one, which is quite good.
Yeah.
But then again, yeah. It's not one of them where I'm like, I regret watching it.
No. I'm glad we watched them.
Yeah. Like they were entertaining. Kept my attention. But again, I feel like if it was a series, I feel like you could have a lot more flashbacks. Which I feel like would help the pacing a bit.
Yeah.
Because you could have them discovering stuff at the same time in, you know what it's like with like The Witcher, for example, on Netflix, where it's like some stuff's happening like really far in the past.
Yeah.
And then some stuff happens like, you're not really sure of the timelines and stuff. But I feel like you could quite easily have all 3 sort of running concurrently.
Yeah.
But just sort of flitter between all 3. Have it so that when they go find Thingy, and then, I don't know.
Yeah, just mix it up a bit.
Just mix it up a bit more.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It was alright.
Yeah. Not the worst. Not the best.
Yeah. Just somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. If you've got time to watch it, watch it. But if there's something else on the top of your like watch list, give that a go.
Watch that instead. Yeah.
That'd be my recommendation.
Yeah.
And there it was, our driving home review. Very interesting. Was it controversial? Possibly. This is pre-recorded, so deal with it. Anyway, thanks for listening. And if you want to get in touch, give us a follow on Insta, Twitter, or give us a like on Facebook, where we're Driving Home Reviews. It'd be great if you could subscribe and leave a nice juicy 5-star review, and maybe I'll buy you a pint. Is this bribery? Probably. But tune in next time for another Driving Home review. Bye bye!